So in this video, we will see a new problem on the streams. Here in this example, we have the movie list and there are 3 movies and we will be focusing on the release year. So let's say we ask this question, find me the movie with the release year 2000. So there are 2. Movie with ID 2 was released in 2000. Similarly, this movie was also released in 2000. So further, there are 2 ways to ask this question. We can say that find any movie with the release year 2000 or find me the first movie that you encounter with the release year 2000. So there are 2 situations, find any or find first, and stream supports both of them. So we'll try both the methods and we'll see how they are different and when can we prefer one over another. So we'll start with the first one, movies.stream.filter. We apply a predicate on the release year. So we say that movie.release year is equal to 2000 and dot find any. Similarly, let me put a separator here. Then we say, copy and paste. And then we say find first. So first we are calling the find any. So how we do it? We apply a predicate because there must be a condition. That's why we are finding something. So we apply the predicate and then we call the method find any or find first. So we apply the same predicate because we are interested in a movie that was released in 2000. Now, what is the return type of these methods? So if you notice, the return type of find any is an optional. Similarly, find first also returns an optional here. So actually, we will have a different lesson, different video on the optional class, but for now, consider it as a box. It may or may not have a value. So if we cannot guarantee a return value, then we can return an optional to avoid the null pointer exception. Instead of returning the null, what we can do, we can return an optional and that optional may or may not have the value. So the consumer has a choice. The consumer can check the optional. If it has the value, then do something. If not, then do something else. So it returns an optional. So let's use that optional of type movie. Let's name it M1. How do we use it? We say that this optional has many methods. If present, then do something with the help of consumer. We can also call the filter. We can map the value. If present or else means if present, then do something or else do something else. We can check if this optional is empty, is present, map, something like that. What we are going to do is we are simply saying if present, then print this movie. That's it. Similarly, we are going to store the output of the second call, which is find first M2, and let's print this as well. So we say M2 dot if present, then print. Now let's try to run this code. So we see that for find any, we get the output LOTR, which is the first movie in the list. Similarly, for the find first, we get the LOTR. And if we try to run it couple of times, then we see the output is consistent. LOTR for both the method invocations. Now we understand that when we are calling the find first, then we are interested in the first occurrence. So it explains why we see the LOTR as part of find first. But what's going on with find any? We are saying find any. So why is not returning this movie, for example? Why only LOTR all the time? The thing is, when we are dealing with sequential stream, then because the items are processed in the well-defined sequence, and hence findFirst and findAny, there is no difference. They both behave in the same way in case of sequential stream. So if we say findAny or findFirst, it doesn't make any difference in case of sequential stream. We are going to see the elements in the same order. So findAny and findFirst, they are basically the same. That's why we see the same value, the first value, in both the cases. But it becomes tricky when we work with parallel stream, because in case of parallel stream, a stream is divided into multiple chunks and each chunk is handled by a different thread. So it's possible that a thread may return the output out of the order. So it may complete its execution first and it may return the output that may not be in the sequence. So that's why when we are dealing with the parallel stream, then it makes a difference whether or not we are calling findAny or findFirst. In case of parallel stream, if we are not interested in the order, we simply say findAny. It means any thread from any partition. If it finds the result, give me the result. I'm not interested in the order. It may be an out of order execution. But in case of parallel stream, if we are saying that I simply need the first element based on the predicate, then it means that even if another thread completed its execution for, let's say, third chunk, but it will have to wait for the first thread that is executing or processing the first chunk, because we want the first occurrence. So obviously, because it has to maintain the order same as other methods that we discussed earlier, it has an overhead because it has to coordinate between multiple threads. All right, so let's see an example of these two methods with the parallel stream. Let me put a separator here. Now let's do the same thing with parallel stream. I will simply copy this whole thing and we can change that. So for now, let me comment it, and we say that movies dot parallel stream, then we apply the predicate and we get the response. So parallel movie 1, and now if we print it, then let's see. So this time with the parallel stream, we see some out of order thing, because instead of LOTR, because we are calling findAny, we see matrix on the console because the release year is same. But if you notice, the sequence matrix comes after the LOTR, and instead of LOTR, we see the matrix in case of parallel stream. That's the difference. So now if we say that we only need the first occurrence, then we will say that okay, find first. In this situation, in case of parallel stream, if we call the find first, then what we see on the console is that it is the first occurrence, the first movie, LOTR. So just to recap, in case of sequential stream, findAny and findFirst, they behave in the same way. There is no difference. But when we are working with the parallel stream, then it makes a difference whether we are calling findAny or findFirst, because they may return things out of order. All right. So that's how we use the findFirst and findAny. That's it for now. Thank you. In the last video, we covered findFirst and findAny methods. So we apply a predicate, we provide a predicate, and then we try to find the matching elements, first or any, depending on the occurrence. But what if we are not interested in finding the element? What we simply want to check is we have a condition and we simply want to check if there is any element that matches this condition. This is a simple Boolean test. We are not interested in the element itself, just the test. In that case, to do that, String API provides 3 different methods: allMatch, noneMatch, and anyMatch. they don't return the element, they simply return the result of that check. So for example, if we have this movie list and we have the problem statement that we want to check if all the movies have the rating 10. So the question is, do all the movies in the collection or in the stream have the rating 10? How do we do that? What we can do, we get the stream movies.stream, then we call the method allMatch, and then we provide the predicate. So movie dot rating equals to 10, and this returns a boolean here. So boolean result, and we can print this boolean. So we are trying to say we are trying to match all the movies in the stream with this predicate that perform this operation allMatch with this condition. Do all the movies in the collection or in the stream have the rating 10? So if we run this code, we see the output false because there is a movie in the list which has the rating 9, so they don't all match. Similarly, if we want to say that find me any match, is there any element that matches this condition, any match that has the rating 10? This time if we run the code, we see the value true because there are at least 2 movies with ID 1 and 2 which have the rating 10. So it returned the true. It is any match. Then there is none match if we provide a condition and there are no matches in the stream. Then we use the none match method. So let's say we call the none match method, and what we want to check is if the movie, there is a movie with rating 8, for example. So we get the value true because all the movies have rating different than 8, 9, 2 movies have 10. So there is no movie that has the rating 8. So none match returns the true. So this is a simple operation. All of these methods are simple operations. We provide a predicate and then we try to match the condition against the elements of the stream, and it accordingly returns a true or a false. In this case, we are not interested in the element, but we simply want to test if this condition matches with any of the elements. All right, that's how we use allMatch, noneMatch, and anyMatch. Thank you.